to God, Ministry episode number 20, and this is health and wellness. And this one, we're going to do a meal that I do occasionally. Hopefully you can hear me. The dishwasher in the background, we'll go with it, and hopefully it works out. If not, I always have to re-record. But essentially, this is another meal that I really enjoy. Part of the meal is going to be the sweet potato that I normally do, and I'll do that during the cook time. But I really enjoy salmon, and sometimes I'll get like a piece that's like a smaller piece of salmon. Sometimes I'll get a big piece of salmon. And salmon you could do pretty much just plain, with not a lot on it. But you can also do salmon with butter, garlic, whatever you like. Maybe just even a little bit. Or again, like I said, salmon is really, really good plain. The other thing I'll put on my salmon, a lot of times, is I'll put on mustard. Sometimes I've done it with regular mustard, although regular mustard is not the best. But a lot of times I prefer to do it with like Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard tastes pretty good. So right here I have this that I already got, and this is Bargain Outlet. And this is a pretty big piece, decent size. And I really enjoy going there because like sometimes you get these on sale. So this is Wild Alaska Seafood, product of the USA, sockeye salmon. You can see it's a big strip. It's pretty decent there. And again, this little bit smaller, but it's like 0.810 pounds. So essentially, this is going to be delicious. Again, it's gonna fill me up because it's a big chunk. And then the other good thing is it is around. Again, the whole meal is probably under 500-600 calories. Not even. Let me see if I got my notes. I did write this down because I couldn't remember it. So the salmon's going to be, for that size, it's going to be 450 calories, and then it's going to be 75 grams of protein. And then I'm going to have my normal sweet potato and all that. So what I do is I'm going to grill this today, and sometimes I'll grill straight on the grill. Other times I'll do this. So I'll literally take this right here, aluminum foil, and then I'm going to take the packaging right here. Now what's going to happen when you open this packaging up, if you haven't done these before, you got to be careful because you will get salmon all over your sensor. You'll get like salmon juice because they're like zip locked here, or they're vacuum sealed. So every time I do it, I seem to get stuff on there. There's probably another method to do it that works out better, but for some reason it just splatters for some reason here. So again, that one's not too bad, but I'm going to pull that off, and then I'm going to take my piece of salmon. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll just put this here, line this up like that, and then you can either take it out with your hands if you want to do that, but again, keep in mind you're going to have to wash your hands, or you can take it out with a fork or something like that. I don't have to go ahead and just take it out with my hands, just because I don't want to have any problems, and then I'm going to wash my hands afterwards. So I'm going to take it out like that, and we're just going to throw it on a piece of aluminum foil. I'm going to take this right here, I'm going to put this in the trash, and I'm going to make sure I put it in the front trash can. And the reason why is because honestly, fish has that stinky smell, or it can, if it sits out. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and make sure you take the trash out, which is what I'm going to do tonight, so that, even if it sits in the thing, you don't have that smell. And then essentially, I'm good to go, other than putting my toppings on. And I'll do different things. There's so many different things you can do. One of the main things I do always is going to be salt and pepper. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do some basil leaves. So again, salt and pepper actually right now. Salt. Again, that's more than enough. And then I always like to put some type of, obviously it's better if you have fresh, but you may not. So I'm going to do some basil leaves here. Just throw a couple on those. Obviously if you have fresh basil, that's better to put on. The other thing that I recommend, and I'm not going to put this on today because I like it sometimes plain, but there's this Old Bay lemon and herb seasoning. It's got a little bit of sodium, 140 milligrams, but this stuff right here is really good. You can put this on anything. Again, I'm not going to put it on there today because I actually like my salmon sort of plain. Either plain, or I will do it with mustard, but a lot of times it's that Dijon mustard. Or the other thing I'll do is I might put it on toward the end. Sometimes I'll put on some honey. And again, obviously the sugar content's going to be a little bit higher, but honey's good for you because it's natural. And then the other thing that I will do occasionally is I'll put garlic on it. So today I'm just going completely plain. So this is just salt, pepper. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to pull my piece of aluminum foil, and essentially I'm going to tent it like this. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because I'm gonna grill this. And I already have the grill turned on, it's ready to go. I don't know what it's on right now, I don't know what to see. It is on 430, which is good enough. So what I'm gonna do is I'm literally just gonna take this and I'm just gonna throw this on the grill, nice and easy. And again, because it's on aluminum foil, I don't have to worry about anything sticking. Obviously it's not gonna cook. Now, one thing about the grill is I know that the grill is at like 450 right now, so I do have to be careful because if I leave that on the grill too long, especially at that temp is going to climb, so it's going to go from like 450 to 5, it could go up to 600. So I do got to be careful with that because if I leave it there, I got to worry about burning the fish. And again, I think I told you in some of the other videos, I like my fish not as cooked. I like it more rare, although you do got to make sure it's cooked. Again, I'm gonna do a sweet potato because I do a sweet potato almost every day, and it's it's just, again, it's a consistency thing. I like sweet potatoes. If you don't, pick another fruit or vegetable that you like, because again, you want to get in a certain amount of fruits and vegetables that are healthy, and again, it's going to fill you up. This is going to give you fiber, and you always want to have something decent that can fill you up. In some days, I'm not going to do it today, but some days I'll actually do 2 sweet potatoes. So I'll eat 2 sweet potatoes. Again, other than carbs, it's really they're not that bad for you. They're good for you. So same thing. Get our pan, throw our sweet potatoes in here. Good to go. Nice and easy. Throw hot water on. And the other thing that you haven't seen me do that I'll do a lot, I never used to, but I like to also get beans. And the beans are basically either like black beans or red beans, or I'll do kidney beans. And the reason I like to do that is because, beans are good for you, other than obviously, like anything else, you get gas from them, that kind of stuff. But other than that, beans are good for you. And the other thing is they have protein in them. So there was a time too where I was doing just like my sweet potatoes. I haven't done it lately because I don't like the beans that are in the cans. And the reason why is because although you can use them and they work, they have a ton of sodium, like a huge amount of sodium in them. So I started out with the beans in the cans and we're doing those just because it was convenient for me. But then I ended up switching because essentially, what I started recognizing is that they tended to be like the sodium content is super high. So what I ended up doing is I started making these. Maybe I'll do an episode. I don't really know. Again, I'm not like a cook as far as making beans, but pretty much there's 2 different methods. One is to let them sit in water overnight or for a certain period of time and let them drain, because I guess they have a chemical or coating on them or something like that. And then the other thing is just to boil them, at a certain level. And that's sort of what I did. But I enjoy them. Beans, because I would do like 1/4 cup or 3/4 cup. I don't know what it is, but I do a cup. So I do a cup of beans every day. And again, obviously with this is a sweet potato and then fish. So you're gonna need a filler. You're gonna need something else to eat, at least in my opinion. So either I would have maybe ate a bigger breakfast and lunch today, and then again my dinner's a little bit later. Again, it's gonna fill me up because I'm eating a massive piece of salmon. You're gonna see it when I pull it off. It's a massive piece. Same thing with the fish. Anytime I do fish, I'm either going to want to eat 1 massive piece or I'll eat 2-3 pieces of fish. And again, they have a decent amount of protein in them. But this meal right here is going to be this. And then, again, I'm obviously going to eat, I might eat dessert today, maybe not, I don't know. Maybe I'll get something, maybe I'll get ice cream for kids or Menchie's, something crazy like that, which is good occasionally. And then a lot of times I will do, vegetables. But I did a whole plate of vegetables yesterday, so I'm not really feeling that right now. But obviously I would do that. But I probably will eat with this also, just because I really enjoy it and I'm getting low. I don't have to replace it anyways, and I don't have that much more. So I'm going to go to my red cabbage with apple. I'm going to do that because I just like it. I'll probably just eat, there's really not that much left in this container, so I'll probably just eat that whole container because that's not even going to be the 1 serving, maybe 2 servings tops. I don't know. But I'm going to buy some more of that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go check the temperature on the fish, and see where we're at, which will be pretty easy to do. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and put this on the table right there. And that's why I like using that aluminum foil, is because it makes your cleanup so easy. And again, obviously if you're grilling, you know, it is nice to, you know, grill right on the brace, and it's probably going to taste better. But again, I just like the aluminum foil because of the ease of use. And again, I'm cleaning this up. I'm cleaning up my Thermapen here. And again, you can see I actually did this. Certain sections that are thicker, it's done a little bit more, but that's okay. You can see the bottom burned up a little bit. Sometimes I will coat the bottom also with oil, olive oil or butter or something like that. And you can see pretty much right now, I could touch it. It's a little bit hot, but you can see it is steaming. It's ready to go. Obviously, like I said, it might be a little bit more done, but this is going to be delicious. And then so what you're going to do now is, again, aluminum foil cleanup's going to be easy here. I'm going to take a butter knife, really easy, and I'm going to take a fork. And then what I'm going to do is you're basically just going to cut it like this. And again, it's not to perfection, but basically you got to start out on one side, find where that skin's at, and then go like this. And then what I recommend you do is you can even cut it in sections. So like do like that where I cut straight. And then right now I'm going to take this piece off again. Boom, like that right there. I'm going to cut another piece right here since I already got that going a little bit. And then boom, I get another piece. And again, I'm not one where it's like, hey, if I still have some skin on the bottom, I'm not like one that's like, okay, you know, cut it off. I actually will eat that. So again, if there's a little bit of skin, I'm not worried about it. I'm just gonna eat it. But right now, we're gonna see that. Throw that there. Throw that piece. And again, I love salmon, so you better believe I'm getting every last drop of this. I'm getting every last drop of that. And right now, that's going to be delicious as is. So that's going to be flavorful because salmon's good. And then you can see right now, we have our aluminum foil piece right there. We're going to take this. Again, we're going to throw this in the same trash can. And then again, my cleanup there is easy. So then right now you can see my salmon is done. That was really quick. This is going to be delicious. I love salmon. I could eat salmon. It's like my sweet potatoes. I literally could eat it every day. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move my plate over. I'm going to move my big chunks of salmon over a little bit. And sometimes I might be doing 2 different meals. So if I'm hitting a certain protein count, and again, protein is not crucial, but it is good because it's going to help you, especially if you're doing some type of physical activity. Protein is one of the building blocks. So what I will do is I'll actually have 2 plates. I've had it where I'm eating like salmon on one plate, and then on another plate, I'm actually eating like, you know, a steak. It might be a tiny steak, like, you know, a tiny one or some other meat. A lot of times I will do that, but it won't be, you know, a huge plate. It'll be just like a little additional one. Maybe it was one I got on sale at the store, and it was like, you know, it had that pricing sticker. And I love this. I'm gonna eat it right now. That's delicious. That's some good stuff. You can put that on the salmon. I've actually never done it, but I'm sure it tastes good. This tastes good on whatever I put on. It's awesome. Again, have your water ready. You want to drink water with every meal. And my sweet potatoes are boiling right now. So they're pretty much done. And you've seen me do that. I'm just going to pull them out, throw them in the pan. Now, the one thing is this salmon right now, it's going to be good as is. So I can eat this as is, and it's going to taste delicious. And it does. It does taste good. But if I want to add a little bit of sweetness to it, what I will do, you don't need much. And it's gonna be, what is it, 60 calories I think honey is. I'm gonna take 1 tablespoon on here. And now we're gonna break out the good stuff. And this stuff right here, I don't do this all the time because again, like I said, I normally like my salmon plain. Either plain or with mustard on it. I'll put a little bit of mustard, Dijon mustard, or sometimes again, garlic is good on anything. So this right here is this 1 root meal raw buckwheat honey. This stuff is good for you and it tastes good. It's 60 calories for 1 tablespoon. And the awesome thing about this right here is this is like pure, and because it's that buckwheat honey, it has like almost like I don't know if it's like a smoky, to me it's almost sort of like a smoky flavor. But if you look at this stuff is sweet. I normally don't pull the lid off, but I'm gonna do that. You can see this, how dark it is. Ooh, that's good. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take, again, I'm going to take just and I got to be careful because it sits up there, so it might be a little coated. But I'm going to take a tablespoon. You can see how much a tablespoon is. That's a decent amount. And maybe you would do half a tablespoon, but I like honey, so I'm going to do, and I haven't had honey for a while, so I'm going to do this. And I'm just going to sprinkle that honey on the salmon. I'm going to sprinkle it on the salmon like that. And then now you could see right there, look at that. It's sprinkled all over that, and that's gonna be delicious. And that's gonna add a little sweetness. So if you're not a big fan of fish, let's say you don't like fish, and I'm getting everybody dropping this. You may not like honey. If you don't like honey, then obviously you're not gonna put honey on, but honey's good. You can put it on anything. Chicken, fish. I wouldn't put it on steak, although you never know. Someone's probably done that. The one thing about the honey is you gotta make sure you seal this up. Because obviously this was expensive to ship and to buy, but obviously this will last me like the rest of my life probably. Maybe not the rest of my life, but so I'll put the honey back. So now I'm good to go. Now I got that honey on there. And that's gonna even add a different flavor to this fish because it's gonna be a sweet flavor. Oh yeah. That's good. That's delicious. That was so good. And what you could do, again, I'm not one to add all kinds of toppings, but I do know that I've seen a recipe where people do this. I don't normally do this, but they did one where it's, because I normally just do honey mustard or plain. And mine's normally plain, I like it plain. But they did I don't even know if I have soy sauce even in here. But I did see someone else where they actually did honey and soy sauce. So that's another good thing to do. My sweet potatoes are done. So we're gonna take those off. And then I am ready to eat. Again, I might have did, two sweet potatoes. Ooh. Ah, you see that? That's, again, it's live. What I did was I put my pot holder sideways and I wasn't paying attention. So I felt my knuckle burning. I'm like, why is my knuckle burning? Well, because the pot holder was the wrong way. And then what happened is I just tried to grab the pan there. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna definitely have a nice little, again, that happens. I don't know if you can see that. I'm definitely gonna have a nice little mark right there where my skin just singed. If that does happen, what you can do is run your hand under cold water. Run your hand under cold water. That will help with that. But again, this is live, so just like everybody else, I'm gonna run that under some cold water. This is not edited, so realistically, guess what? Have I burned my finger before because I touched the pan? Absolutely. Absolutely, I've done that. I'm gonna put some hot water on that finger. Let's see my knuckle. The knuckle looks good. It's got a little mark. But again, that's gonna happen. Sometimes you're cooking, and that's realistic. That kind of stuff happens. So right there, and you could see. You could see. I don't know if you could see this, but if you can, the indentation. It's a little bit wet. There's that indentation mark there. That's where I grabbed the pan. And again, that's gonna probably hurt later. It might not matter. It looks like it's a pretty clean burn, so that should be fine. I've sliced my finger too. I've sliced it too. And the knives, if you use those whooshed off knives, they are so, I'm gonna put my cinnamon, you guys know I love cinnamon on my sweet potatoes. These whooshed off knives are so sharp that they will cut so clean that you literally won't even realize like you're cut. Like it won't even, like you'll have to like push it. It's just weird because they're super sharp. And now again, my calorie content is nothing on here. It is absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna do one more thing that again, I don't always do on my sweet potatoes. But again, this is gonna add another, what did I say it was? 10 grams of protein. Well, another 10 grams of protein right here. And that's gonna be like in this Palma, Sorella Valley Palma butter. This stuff is awesome. I love it. I put this on. I would put it on everything, but it's so expensive that like I do gotta watch out what I put it on. But let's say I take a table, and that's definitely not a tablespoon. Okay, now we're talking. That's a tablespoon. So I'm gonna put on there, and then now I just got an extra 10 grams of protein. So now instead of, what was I saying? It was 75. Right there, 1 tablespoon of butter, I'm up to 85. If I'm looking at that. You could also put this butter on the salmon too. That would be awesome too. I normally don't, but you could definitely put the butter on the salmon. Because butter goes good with everything. Again, like in moderation. So now I am done. I'm gonna let my sweet potatoes, I'm gonna let the butter melt on those. I'm just gonna let it sit and melt because they're steaming hot. I'm gonna burn my mouth if I do it. All right, so I'm gonna let that melt and I'm gonna finish up my food here. And again, these red, or not red pickled, I was gonna say red pickled onions because the Cleveland Kitchen ones are so good, but this is that cabbage. This is that like D-U-T-S, I don't know how you even say the name, but it's a red cabbage. apple cabbage is delicious. Put on anything. I'm going to close this video out because this is a quick, easy one. Because salmon and fish normally cook up quick, especially on the grill. So we're going to close that out. But again, the most important thing is that you're saved. So read the description below. Read, if you don't know what that means, read that. Read the prayer out loud. That will start your relationship with Jesus and God. Essentially, you're asking Jesus in your heart, and you'll ask him to forgive you of your sins so you can start the relationship with him. It is the best thing you've ever done in your life. Again, God bless you and have a good night.